Do you feel like you're living paycheck to paycheck and you're not actually getting the financial freedom that you're looking for? Learning how to save and invest is crucial for that. I can't stress that more. And if you want to know about good tips and strategies to do so, especially if you're one of my people who wanted to fire, then I want you to stick to the very end because there's a lot of good tools in here that will actually help you get you on your journey. Let's get into it. So the first thing that I'll say is, hi, my name is Kenneth Slade, and I have successfully fired. That is, I have achieved financial independence, retired early, and I am living in Costa Rica. Now it's raining now, but you get the idea. Normally I say it's sunny Costa Rica, but we're in rainy season. I love it. And so this is one of the things that I had to actually do. I had to be able to properly manage my money, see it, save it, invest it, and to be wise about what I'm spending. Now, I didn't live as frugally as a lot of fire people do. I actually did it in such a way that I was able to enjoy my life. And I will talk about that in another video later. But what you need to know is you need to focus on what is important. Now, recently I read a book called The One Thing, and The One Thing talks about focusing on what's the one thing that you can do that makes things easier or unnecessary. And I said recently, I actually was subconsciously doing this in some areas of my life. Money was one of them, and maybe not another. Now I'm like, oh, let's do it all over. It's great. The point is that you want to be able to focus on why you're doing what you're doing. Now, I made another video about changing your career. So if the one thing for you to get a better savings rate, to be able to invest harder, faster, is to shift your career, that's something you might want to think of. Side things and side hustles, yeah, they might go for a little bit of time, but if they're only giving you a dime here, a dime there, it's better to re-educate yourself and go and get another career that you're making thousands of dollars, multiply that by X more, because you're bringing more value into the workplace versus just getting all side hustles, because there's only 24 hours in a day and you have to be smart about it. And so this brings me to the second point, is that you need to be able to have smart goals when it comes. And now this is the point within the point though. Smart goals is specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound. In order to do that, you need to say things not like, I'm going to save $2,000 someday, when I get to it, because the money will sit in the bank. You're like, oh, spend. But if you're like, I need to do it in 6 months. And then it's, because I need to invest in 6 months. Then now you're starting to get more specific. It's got a time bound, and you're starting to put a purpose to it, which I'll jump into the next point, is you'll start to have a purpose and vision for that money. So you're going to work for what you need to do. And back to the one thing, you're going to, hey, maybe it's time to transition to another career instead of just staying in this lane. And so if these things actually are resonating with you, I want you guys to stay tuned to the very end, because all these points are going to come together like a sandwich. And so right now you might have the mayonnaise, but you need the bread and the meat and all the other stuff. So stick to the very end. The next thing that is very important is you need to give purpose to all your money. And yes, I said all your money. A lot of times we'll say, as long as I'm paying the bills, I'm okay. No, that is a terrible strategy. Give purpose to all your money. So you're going to know ahead of time where your money is going. Even the money that I love to call the play account. The play account is what you do to enjoy life. You want to give yourself a certain percentage after your tithes. I am a Christian. I believe you should tithe. It stops the borrower from taking away your money, from decimating your money. So after tithes, you want to pay yourself, and then the other stuff, which is another video, another list. And so when you do that and your play money is purpose, you're not going to blow it, because a lot of people go on budgeting. The reason why they hate budget is because it's like a fast diet. Oh, I won't eat. I'm not going to enjoy life. I'm just going to save. No, pass some money set aside so you can have date night, so that if you're married, you can stay married, because saving forever. So what you want to do is be able to have an account. And again, it's purpose, because it's going to be apart from the money that you're saving for maybe your investment goals, what you're going to invest. And it's not just going to sit in the bank, but you're going to save that money up so that it can be invested. And I say investment loosely because a lot of people think stocks, and I do like stocks, indexes, and things like that. We'll get into that as well. But if you have a strong understanding, I don't think you should go into any investment without understanding, knowledge, and tutoring, blah, 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 blah. But if you have a strong understanding of another type of investment, that is something that you should also look into as well. If this has been resonating with you about saving and investing, and you're thinking about relocating to another place, because if you realize that if you can lower your cost of living and bring in US dollars, especially with remote jobs or businesses or things like that, then you're able to actually get to fire faster. And so if this interests you, I want you to click the link below so you can have some information so that will actually help you on your journey. Let's get into the next point. So the next point is to learn about investments. And a lot of people don't, they're like, oh, it's gambling, or you didn't learn about it. You got to learn about investments. And investments are not just stocks, like I was saying, stocks and indexes, but they're real estate. So if you want to get into real estate, it's not just buying and flipping houses. There actually are stocks that you can buy to get into real estate groups that, profit on how well they did in the real estate market. You can get with other groups of individuals. And again, this takes relationship building, people who come together and they build commercials, and there's a lot of stuff. Now, I don't recommend you get into anything being uneducated. So education is a key to that. Probably should have put that bullet before this, but we'll get to that. And so, spoiler alert. And so those are particular things that you need to look into. And especially when it comes to stocks, it's not just being a day trader. A day trader is what I'm talking about in this particular thing. A day trader is somebody who's going to look in the stock and get in, get out. Maybe they're trading options or a whole bunch of other stuff, which we're not going to get into, trading Forex and things like that. But what you're going to be looking at is maybe something that if you're I'm not going to watch it every day, I just want to invest for the long term, I want some good companies, look into indexes. Indexes are a great thing, and honestly, I prefer Vanguard. So the VFI and the X has a whole bunch of other tickers, which I'm not getting into in this video, but they actually track the S&P 500. And so there are other different tickers that actually have different fees and a lot of different things that you should research on. But in my opinion, actually a very nice place to keep your money. And you need to be educated, because when the market is, oh no, it's crashing, you realize the market goes up and down. That's where the rich buy everything. When the market is down, they invest into good things that are not going to disappear, take off when they go up. Many of the people who are uneducated, the reason why I say research what you're doing, is they'll invest when it's at the high and then panic and sell at the low. No, you want to do the reverse. And it's funny, that. You probably heard it all your life. Buy low, sell high, buy low, sell high. But you get in the market, you freak out because you don't know what's going on, and you sell everything. So my recommendation is, again, even if I gave you a tip right now, which I just did, the VFI Index, and look up other tickers, especially if you're associated with different banks that may have different access to different tickers, to the same thing that can actually be profitable for you. Because ultimately, your money is your employee. You want it to grow for you. If it's just sitting there doing nothing, like any employee, you're just going to fire her. You're going to go over there and kick it. And this is stupid. You don't want your money to go be taken away from you. You don't want your money to just be sitting there idle. You want your money to be working just like you work. So the question comes up, what financial goals do you have that you're going to achieve next year? And what steps are you taking to get there? I want you guys to comment below. Now, here's the point that I said maybe I should put, but whatever, is you need to invest in yourself. A lot of times you hear, oh, here's a YouTube video about taking this investment and that investment. You need to invest in yourself. Go to some classes, go to some training, invest in some books, read some books about different types of investment, go to some seminars, and don't just go to one and be like, oh, that's it. Because, you got to be able to judge, is that a good seminar or is that full of crap and he just wants my money? You go to a number of seminars and you get to see, oh, here's the context. He can help. And so you want to be able to invest in yourself. The more that you're investing in yourself, the more that the outlook of change in the environment, the economics, the stock market, the real estate, which is also cyclical, going up and down, and people raising interest rates and educate yourself. And so you want to do that. And also when it comes to real estate, I was in real estate, so I get a little bit sensitive about the subject. A lot of people think the only way to make money in real estate is being a real estate agent. And that's not it. Unless you're in high ticket market and you got some great contacts, unless you can move some houses, it's not the only way. And in my opinion, it's almost not even the best way to get in. I have known people in my life who buy thousands of houses sight unseen and turn that into a profit. You have to be able to think outside the box. And so those are the things that, educate yourself, invest in yourself, invest in finding a mentor or a coach in the skill that you like, or in the investment that you like, so an investment skill that you like. Another tidbit is, I've been telling you a lot of pluses and things you should do. Here's something that you should avoid. Avoid debt traps, which are like interest. Okay, I'm going to put this on my credit card, and here's the interest rate. I'm going to buy a car. I don't have the money. Now, there's a whole nother video I can make. Ooh, that's a whole nother story. I used to save my cash and then buy my cars. That's how I rode, because I hated interest that much. You may not want to go to that level. And again, this also requires you having a good career and then not increasing your expenses up, because I hated monthly stuff. Don't come to me every month. I will save up, give you the cash, and then I'm out. And so those are the things that you want to do. You want to avoid stuff that's going to take away from you. And again, have your money working for you, growing for you. Again, it's your employee. It is a tool. So use the tool to the best of its ability versus having it take away from you. It's a double-edged sword, if you will. The last tidbit is something that I got from Rich Dad Poor Dad when I was very young. It was one of the first that I can remember, mindset books when it came to finances, financial mindset books. And it stuck with me forever. He was talking about Rich Dad and Poor Dad. And he said something to the point where if you wanted a liability, if you want a car, you want this, what he did, which is Rich Dad taught him, he bought, I think it was a parking lot or something. The real estate, and when the real estate paid it off, then the extra income paid the liability. And so in that way, like I'm suggesting, you get investments, you have something growing for you, and you want a liability, you take out the excess, and then you let it pay for your liability. And if you're in business, I haven't even talked about businesses. That's a whole awesome other topic we'll do on another video, because this video is getting to the end. You want to be able to pull the excess off of your businesses that you're not reinvesting in all that stuff, and you're going to actually use it to buy that liability. And then you're always going to be debt free. Money is always going to work for you. And honestly, that will help you fire and put yourself in a good position. So with that, I want you guys to click on the link below to actually get some more information about how to think out of the box and do different things so that you can fire and actually achieve, and maybe not ride the ride to the end of retirement, but be able to retire early so that you can actually move to different places, actually, and not even in that order. So I will see you on the other side.